Yeah, good evening, welcome to Speed Gaming, and tonight we have Group M in the casual boots, or it's a main tournament, but casual boots is the mode for tonight, with IBKarma going against latebit here. Not exactly sure where they're at in the stages of their groups. I should have probably got that ready ahead of time anyway. Yeah, most of you, I assume, know what casual boots is. You're going to do the escape as though you're playing a vanilla game, but you're going to have boots and a sword to start. That sword will be active for regular use once you reach the uncle, and after that, you get your 7 crystals and you go to GT. So they're going to get going here in about 45 seconds or so. And there goes latebit. Karma soon to follow, and we'll get that synced up here shortly. Late there doing a 1 dash vertically through the bushes. It's something I never thought of doing. I'm sure it makes almost no difference, but it makes one less move, I guess, and that's the one thing you would do want to try to avoid. It, again, makes very little difference, but if you're not right up against the house, you'll hit the angle there and have to adjust your path just a bit. Feels worse than it is. So a bow, which is one of the things we can find by now if we didn't already have a sword, so it being here is purely random and nice to have. I would say one of the things you don't like having to find late, but then again, I think that applies to just about everything. Karma there. Choosing to use the bow here to just for opening up strats a bit. I guess it's nice to have in that regard, so you don't have to 3-hit the guard. Late bit doing the more traditional spin. Karma missing that shot though. These things all even out in the course of a race. Bow from everybody here for the ball and chain card. That's assuredly faster. And with the bonk and a couple other little things, latebit's got about a screen on Karma right now. Well, we're capturing trackers here, and it's possible that latebit didn't get the auto tracker on or whatever, but or if you know, or if auto's not being used, it'll get updated later on. But we'll figure something out. I mean, well, okay, looks like here it goes as soon as I say it. So yeah. I do that a lot. I'll start and forget autos on, and especially in standard starts, I don't tend to care until, about right about now. Karma doing that thing. More swaggy than anything, but I try to do that, and I kind of lost the handle where you hit the switch and you just stick to it while you pull it. It's a specific Y value or 2 or 3 that works for that. We see a couple of crystals to start with here if this were a vanilla game, but then well, that thing I said, I meant like, you start with the Eastern Desert. But a fairly vanilla looking pendant on Tower of Hera, wrong color, but close enough. Hammer here in Bonk Rocks. It's a nice chunk of 20s here we can farm, as long as we so desire, under the bush crab. Everybody will take the free 50 as well. Sooner you can get to 600, less you have to worry about all that. Looks like Karma is doing something just a bit different. Yeah, it's just gonna didn't get any of those bombs yet, so just gonna buy a pack here and be done with it. And late bit. So you can do this. You can get the bonk bomb there and hope for a pack in one of these, either well or Blind's hut, and does get one, which is enough to clear Kakariko. And the nice short-range fetch quest here. It comes with a free blue goo. You don't hate it. It's going to do it for Kakariko. Nothing spectacular, but out of the way at any rate. Late bit choosing to go mini Moldorm left here, and it's an extra screen or two, but it's okay whenever you're short on money like he is. It should end in and around a Gina. Means you don't get burned by that one. IBKarma, meantime, headed toward Eastern with the bow. And there's always something to be said, oh, you know, you have the bow, you can do it right away, so let's do it right away, but this stuff that latebit's doing is perfectly fine. These are things that you expect to do at some point regardless. Mid-game and later you want to dungeon rush if at all possible, but no problem to clear this now. There would be that Zora money that latebit has. Now may choose to go to Eastern regardless of that. But no, it is going to head back and commit and go ahead and finish that up. Both of these are perfectly fine. See a glove here in Map Chest Eastern. So just a pearl from Dark World. Yeah, Brad and Chad, I can see, yeah, that possibility coming. I think I've tried to play for that a few times, but I think as soon as it happens, now maybe some of us won't, but I would be like, oh crap, now I have to do pod on low percent in the dark. Which is fine if you don't die. If you do, this dark room here at Karma's in is another one. As long as you get it right, once you get in there, you're okay. And I'm hearing doors, so we should be good. Yep. No, we did it. Get the moon pearl. I took my eye off that one, sorry. Yeah, that's the thing about Mini Molder, and it's got the 5 items. If you can do it early, go ahead and do it. Like latebit did, doing that, and then carrying that to the left even. Sometimes you'll just start at the dam and go, but then you have to put that cave in somewhere else. We paid for the 20, we'll take it. Meantime, a crystal down for Karma, and yeah, in fact, it does have all 3 items. It's another thing I don't necessarily always catch on here. So that's nice to get out of the way. It's easy, you can get anything, progressive from it, but it's easy. So it looks like runners will both be getting their dark roll at about the same time, if I had to guess. In the form of different parts. IBKarma is going to also go ahead and knock out Agina here. But I believe, hopefully, okay, well, he's going to farm this twice and then be slightly disappointed when he gets to Agina. A lot of times in this mode it is generally advisable when you're this close to just do Mini Moldworm anyway, as you're going to find money in there, and even if you don't, you have a glove and you can get that out of the rock by Ice Rod Cave. So latebit knows that he has Dark World, but is obviously going to finish up Eastern here. It's nice to, during a run like this especially, have things you can do. Like you like keeping things on the list basically while you're busy doing other things. Less braining for everybody. See that nice Eastern setup with the 3 items and the big key in the first 4 chests. Saves you from having to make a call about the back. That's latebit's crystal number 1 down as well. IBKarma going to set up the water walk here and take care of at least the light world chunk of Zora. Might do Hobo as well. We'll skip Hobo here. This is okay. You can just go with the fact that it's out of logic and figure if there's anything there, we don't need it yet. Didn't catch all of that, but I've seen a couple of pendants on the left side and a red crystal at pod. So the big takeaway there is how quickly do we push Village of Outcasts with this 2 pendants there. Maybe not super quickly here with latebit coming up with Hookshot. It's a Hookshot and something else there in Hype Cave. Pretty nice Hype Cave. And Karma's going to get that now as well. The book as well, that one. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, you can get into desert, but I don't think we want to do that just yet. No way to finish. Pod is a good option. Pretty, I'd say handleable at this point, if that's even a word. Got enough hearts. Even if it is dark, you can also head up the mountain like I guess latebit's looking to do here, and that just became pretty dense with that hook shot. It's actually the first thing I thought of. So this, of course, being access through the dark means it's out of logic as well. Minus lamp or flute, but density still wins here in this case. Seems to fit what latebit's been doing here, putting the dense checks together before we find out that we absolutely have to do things that are going to get done anyway. The jet seat alarm has not been ringing. I don't think this will be too bad overall, but it's not going to be like done in an hour either. Yeah, when you're in hook speed, I've done that. You just line up a little bit off there. Easy to get back, which is nice. You know, I always say since there's no windows or torches like most of the other rooms in the game that have lighting in them. At least you don't have to fight Helmasaur in the dark. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I am 87.6% sure it's because too much going on in the room with the tail. Maybe they thought about it, wanted to do it, couldn't, said heck with it. It would still add something to it, even if you're supposed to have a lamp by then. Could be an interesting kind of a way to fight a boss, but just didn't happen. Yeah, we saw the. I see we're talking in chat about the routing after Hype Cave, something to basically, I guess, finish up the trip that you made on that particular save and quit cycle, I guess. It's always a choice that seems to come up going left or right there, and we saw one of each from the runners. Yeah, catfish is one of those things you can put with pyramid, like we saw there. You can put it with graveyard ledge, ideally. If you're doing it with graveyard ledge after you've been to pyramid, you're going to want mirror, at least flippers maybe. And it may come up that we won't have those things by the time we get there. So it's a defendable time to do it. So it looks like latebit is going to bail on Pendant Eastern, noting that the entire top is lamp locked, even if we can get to some of it. That's it for the mountain for latebit. Probably going to try dipping into Village of Outcasts then. It's the next most dense thing. Still putting off pod in his case, but he figures it will still be something that's going to get done anyway. Oh, we got a flute. Never mind. I'm good at missing things. It's a good time to come turn that on, and then yeah, he might still stay here. So that flute doesn't add anything new on its own. A shovel there in pod, that's interesting. That latebit is leaving. Just to check the ledge. Sure, you might go into desert there without a fire source, but nah. Just defending against the early book is what I'd call that. Making sure it was nothing just going to get missed. Which could still apply to desert, but it does take a lot longer to get in there, so... If Karma died, I would assume it's to get out of the dark maze since he hammered jumped in. And that way you don't have to spend a key. Yeah, I'm still not honestly sure what kind of tracking latebit's running, but again, I believe that check a desert ledge. Well, I mean, I could be wrong. It could be just because you just got the flute and it's easy. But I think I'm making that check, knowing that I have the book and seeing if I need to go get whatever it is. Karma, trying to find the turtles here. This is the one unfun part about Dark Pod. Not super sure how many are left. Found it on a poke, but it looks like I might have flipped it a few more times. Still at least one more. There we go. Just got to be careful in Helmosaur. You got 3 hits to burn. Well, 2 to burn. 1 you don't want to burn. Silvers, when we get to that point, makes this a lot more comfortable, for sure. Luckily got that arrow off before the fireball came down, as I can snowball out of proportion pretty quick. So good fight from Karma. For crystal number 2. This will be up the mountain for Karma as well. So, since now I realize the flute was up there, it just means that one of our fire sources, namely the lamp, will have to be off the mountain somewhere. And with all the things that, we're doing or could do, whether they're logical or not, we're, I think, kind of wondering where it is. I don't think it can be too late at this point. Latebit's got his front 4 and is happy with that, so he's going to dip on out of Thieves Town. See the mitts here in chess game. So a lot of times I like to do that and end this before going into Thieves, but I'm guessing it's because Latebit knew he just was going to get the front 4 no matter what. Got to pay attention here, see if this lineup works for Karma, and it does to get across here. Not have to reset. still trying to learn a good one that works for me. It wouldn't have been that one, but I'm going to have to look at it. So with the flute and now the mitts, 2 mire, or at least the area, goes 8-bit coming up with an ice rod. Put that in the pocket for whenever. And now 8-bit, is deciding that pot has waited long enough and it's time to do that. And that's probably a good choice. Quick to get into mire, so actually has the full access to, well, not a full access. We need fire in case we need the left side, and which is about 50-50, I guess. So that and low weapons, low whatever, means we'll take care of that a little later. From 8-bit's perspective, this makes much more sense. You know, we asked about Floaty Island before. Finally, now I see it, just a fiber, so no worries. Be interesting to see here what if Hera IBKarma does. And is going to go ahead and head to the top. It's quick, but you know, could pay, could not. So this is a choice you can make. So that's 2 items, and which that's it. Okay, I was going to say this is the bad pendant, and without a mirror, IBKarma. Thinking quickly, but coming up with the realization that you can follow a few floors from that pot trick and then just get out that way, so you don't have to climb back up the mountain. Good job putting that together quickly. To the shovel spot for IBKarma, who I guess is probably figuring that it's easy enough to get to, and we're not sure where the mirror is going to wind up, so that we can loop it in with all that. Oh, and we can turn the flute on. It's a good time to get shovel then. Forgot Karma didn't have his flute turned on yet. See, those patterns from latebit in the darkroom are starting to be looked a little weird. Now they're starting to make sense. I actually thought he had it. I guess did have it, just couldn't come up with fireballs. Like, they always hit you when you don't want them to. That's true. So thankfully we're still on green mail and can do that relatively cheaply. Silvers for mummies. IBKarma has had enough of them. Don't blame him. Thankfully that next one wasn't just parked in front of the door like happens at the most unfortunate times. Not sure if latebit check bumper ledge here. At any rate, not anything important. Now, King's Tomb is available. Will be shortly for IBKarma, just not going to be with Graveyard Ledge. It's another one I'm looking for odd places for things to be. Chad had mentioned a easy part of desert with that early book, and yeah, the longer it gets put off, the more you start to wonder. Anytime there's an early book, I wonder about that. So latebit gonna loop this one in with the potion shop, and it is a whole heart. So no answers just yet. Karma's gonna pick up at least Stumpy here. Might go back to grab the frog. Looks like that's what's happening. The dense Dark East Mountain here from latebit. Paying off to at least to some degree of fire out here. We'll pop out and check TR's entry requirement. I'm just not going to be able to get to it right now. Even if we had the medallion of bombas, which we do not. Looks like a spike cave here. This will be King's Tomb and then Flute to 3 for IBKarma. Will this be one of those seeds with the mirror in this area on this chain? The last place you really prefer to see it, but Karma may be playing for that more than anything else. A handful of things that we need. It's just coming up with a mirror here now would be a pretty good feeling if it were there, but it's going to go ahead and drop that for the moment. Not a mire for latebit. Another dungeon you gotta do. Not much in here. The silvers, more than anything, I'd say at this point, make this as appealing as it's gonna get. So yeah, indeed, as we're looking for bombos, in addition to swords and nice things like that, now that we have 2 runners with a mid-level fire source that we can use to access things like Ice Palace, I guess place your bets, silently or otherwise, as to whether you feel that would be a nice palace. Now, of course, this is the other way we can firelock something. Just put it here in left side mire, but it doesn't look like that's turning into much here. Latebit doing a cutscene on the first trip over could end up being something very unpleasant, but as long as it's a non-dungeon item, I think you're okay. You feel good about that. It saves you a little time routing the dungeon as well when that works out. So here is that front of desert that we put off. Another thing IBKarma is going to do now, and hope it pays off. I'm curious. Yeah, I don't think latebit will take too long to get here. It just won't be as simple and straightforward as it would normally be without a mirror. So it would have to be like a purely conscious choice, I guess is what I mean. Can't say there's actually a whole heck of a lot else to do. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 things, but I can't come up with much. And there, in fact, is the lamp. So desert was clearable very, very early, depending on what the other item is in here. It may matter, it may not. So getting the flute out of logic up the mountain was as a result of this space of logic. So in general, I'd say no harm, no foul, and especially now that we just see bombs here. This was just the way to the rest of the seed, pretty much. So if your karma, you feel like, if your opponent has a mirror before doing this, you lose a little time here doing it the book route, but, I think when that mirror shows up, everybody will probably figure that your opponent did not have it mega early. And so since we got nothing required out of desert, it's still at that point, I don't think, going to feel too bad having done it this way. So we see now, yeah, latebit is running out of options here. Probably both runners figure the lamp has a real good chance of being in here, and that's what's happened, as opposed to anything else. But even if not, they both had the ability to clear it regardless with the fire rod. Just so happens that the lamp in here logically locks said fire rod. I think. Might be wrong on that. No, yeah, because you have a lamp to get to the mountain at all. I think if you're the runners, you want to see your bombos first. Just because if that mirror shows up now, you're checking not only all of Swamp, but all those little things dotted around the world here for a mirror. Or that are unlocked by a mirror. Gonna go silvers here for landmine. Fire rod is a little easier, but if you can pull off the silvers, you don't have to wait for magic refills and things like that. So, yeah, thinking about it and watching latebit, looks like, I guess this has to be a ped check. Since if we were going to the dark world, we didn't have to go all the way around. So, get ready for that. Good a time as any, I guess, huh? So, fetch quest. Not a helpful answer. Somebody might have to help me out if possible. When latebit went to the potion shop, did he have a mushroom? Or was he just buying potions? Because if there was one picked up, I don't remember it. And I only ask because if you have a mushroom and have ditched it, and now you're beholden to ped potentially, that does not feel good. Yeah, I never myself remember the frog rules. It's supposed to be single entrance caves good. Everything else not, but that's not 100% of them, so... Go mode, I believe, is just going to be flippers, mirror, bombos. I say just, but at an hour looking for 3 isn't spectacular, and then you add sword onto that. I'm sure at least 2 of those will be in close proximity, right? So I don't recall the item counts in Skullwoods, but according to Karma's tracker, there was in fact still one. So you're gonna get, this is the green pendant too, yeah, looks like so. 2 items out of this, and normally that wouldn't be a lot, but at the point we're at, it kind of is. So there's the one from here. Imagine latebit will be turning that in post haste. Just another heart piece for that. Interesting. But yeah, as we see here, not sure exactly how we got there, but at the beginning, latebit was ahead just by a little bit after 5 minutes, and looks like at this point here, after an hour, it's about the same. Maybe an added screen or 2, but it's... Normally I'd say at this point it's who finds the thing first, except we do in fact have 4 of them to find, so still pretty even. I can't yet tell which way this would swing. So yeah, still no flippers that we need. However, this may be nothing more than looking for some time to think while doing something we need to do. Might come up with a mirror. At least you can cross something off your list in the process. Let's see what Karma chooses to do here. Back to village. This might be the back of Thieves Town. Something I wondered if latebit was going to do on his last trip. Personally, I'd put the odds of flippers in there pretty good, actually. But again, latebit doing this now is perfectly fine with the number of other things that we need. Because when IBKarma gets here, it's probably a full clear just the same. Or something close to it. Expected the grasshopper to keep going, did not put on the brakes. Karma's slowing down a little there. About the same time I noticed the health situation. There is the mirror. And I guess we have another item. If Karma's going to turn the maiden in. Or did Karma not? Maybe just Karma didn't check ped and figure you have to do this. Maybe you drop off the maiden and leave, if that's the case. But nah, I was just gonna do it. Now you can mirror out with a follower, but I think it's more the ped potential here. If I was following this correctly, and just only latebit had checked. It's a quick kill, so yeah, you can drop it off and leave if you don't expect the pedestal to actually be anything, but it almost takes as long to just come back. So it's just a little price you pay for not checking first, which also takes time, so it's like whatever. So yeah, that mirror, like I was mentioning before, does put a few things behind it. I would say swamp, but we still don't have access to that. Latebit now, I'm just completely out of options, if not actually completely. It's now going to push this and wind up with that mirror. And yeah, this is a good time to finish up Smith Chain as well. The best time, really. No armor, but we got enough health. We don't care about that. Chest now, safe to leave. It'll be with us in spirit for a few seconds after the next mirror, so I'll leave it right where it is. I guess we'll put a check on Bombo's tablet here as well, even if we can't get it. Speaking of Bombos. So yeah, this will more than likely be nothing, because if it's a sword, we're probably not getting it. Yeah, so quick check and we're out. 2 TR. Deadrock just far enough up to let IBKarma get through. So yeah, latebit will go as far as the mirror. I expect a mirror out here, knowing that there's nothing left after this. Or there was, in fact, an item, because I took my eye off a blind, and when I was mentioning all that before, Karma's tracker showed a 0. So it seems at this point that's more the case. That's a map, yeah, so either lost track for late bit or something I can't fathom right now. So I guess late bit's trip to the potion shop before was just for that. And fair at the time and no armor. Because there's the mushroom and, well, I gotta think here because I still want to say I'm pretty confident that IBKarma has not checked pedestal. But generally, if you know it's good for you and you get out of here and you're still looking for stuff, you want to fake powder the bat first. Even if you don't know what's on ped here in this case. Yeah, these flippers being MIA, as it were. Yeah. Makes sense the dice was empty now, for sure. This is a trick you'll typically do just because if the TR Big Chest has an item and you're only missing one, you can save time with not bothering with this Mimic Cave here. Problem is, we need 2. It's just 1 to get to GT is all. It's a choice whether you do it or not, because if it doesn't work now, you've done an extra couple of screen transitions in and out the door. Looks like everybody, these chomps are hungry for everyone from the looks of it. Okay, bridge, let's go. There's a boot replacement. No flippers. So the mushroom remains a way to put them in TR, but it's the last one at this point. Yeah, I'm going off Karma's thing again now that we saw this a couple times in Thieves Town, and that this will be a compass here. That's good counting, since the stun of the heads does do damage, knowing how much was necessary, so you didn't have to menu back to the mirror there. Or, what did I say? Hammer. That's what I meant to say. So I heard you like mountain climbing. Well, we get to do it again at some point. But for now, yeah, mushrooms got to be the second thing we do here. I hope it's the second thing we do here. I mean, if it ends up being pet, or well, it's not pet, but IBKarma, I think, does not know that. So I might see a fake powder here first. Nope, just going straight for it. Or he checked ped and I missed it, one or the other. You know, early flute, or early mushroom always seems to have something. Late mushroom should. Okay. Yeah, I guess I get it. So it's going to reset and do the fake powder now. I guess doing it this way follows logic a little better. And let's say Karma kill the power here. Yeah, do that. Hopefully he gets it back. Okay, there it goes. Jeez. You don't need that. Nobody needs that. Yeah, ARM, I don't know if that's memory, RAM not clearing or what there. Not actually sure what Karma's using, but a little scary. There's some flippers. How about it? Not the absolute last check, so, I mean, it's the best you can do, I think, in rando. Still need a sword. In theory, there's 3 of them, and they're not on the tablets because we checked them. Yeah, no checkerboard for late bit yet. I don't think it's going to take them too long, though. But this is kind of your second ped check, chat, by the way. I mean, I would, because Telethar, if you weren't here. Well, maybe I'm a clown too, but Pedestal showed powder, so I mean, and it's eligible for flippers. So I mean, I see it at least, but that's just me. Like Karma, hey, I think it's okay. Karma did that whole reset thing and had a little bit of a heart attack with that to keep the mushroom to do it, even though I still don't think Karma has actually checked peds. So yeah, the seed's getting to be one of those. Get to a point where you just start doing things and not really knowing why. So yeah, it's going to be late bit SCO mode here now. Well, you know what? Let's all be nice and call it go mode. We'll just go through GT and find a sword on the way. No going out of our way or nothing. Karma is going somewhere. Didn't check island earlier? Oh no, he didn't actually. I don't think. Oh no, he's got ice to do. Never mind. I just thought back, like earlier on, whenever everybody did Zora and Karma went straight there and didn't do Hobo or the pass through the flyby of the island. Might have got it later actually, but well, let's see how much of this late bit does then. If we're going off of what it says, and there's, you know, 2 items on the left side. I mean, there's 3 swords available and 2 is not 3, so Karma figures he'll be okay, even if the worst case scenario comes to pass with that, but okay, so a relatively synchronous 7th crystal here from the runners. Missing the same exact thing. I guess give latebit the GT game in about 25 seconds, I guess, for now. Okay, so it's 33 seconds at the moment for everybody keeping score at home. So Karma's best hope there was a Hope Room trip working out. That did not. But I don't know what can vary here, but there are still 2 things I gotta find. IBKarma, yeah, we'll diverge here now and just go the DM style. And there's the big key. Okay, so normally you'd say, okay, cool, Karma, but no. If latebit has a sword over here, it's still pretty even. If Karma does not find a sword here and there's latebits, then unfortunately for Karma, that then becomes latebit's game to lose. Well, armor. And latebits, I gotta go to the basement as well, and oh boy, yeah. Maybe hold that thought that I just gave for just a minute, because I am not sure. It's pretty nice ice armos, though. And I would say you have to find another sword at this point. So latebit doing that is not a complete loss either. That is going to help quite a bit, I think, from here on out, late as it is. So yeah, latebit's getting started early, and we'll have the tempered advantage. I can't see a lot else coming up. Disasters. But it will not be a terribly disparate set of finish times here. I can't think of whenever the big key is in Hope Room, you don't do it, and you end up winning because of it, but that's what the sword placement does for you. IBKarma gonna do iframes here in the cannonball room. I will also mention, with as much as is cleared, chances are not terrible on the last sword being at the top. IBKarma will likely check those. Latebit will not. So the advantage in such a case would be limited to the climb. We do have silvers. Those are pretty early. I don't remember exactly where. Maybe Hype Cave. We probably just had them deselected here for the climb. All right, any help for Karma? Not yet. Of course, the chests take time as well. And a sword here may not be enough. A few close calls here from Moldorm. Looks like got the handle back on it though. Yep. Yeah, no further swords, so last one remains a mystery. Honestly, can't be that much of one. Like, I'm not even graveyard ledge. It's the only thing I can think of. There's probably one or two more, but. Yeah, 5 hearts. Latebit definitely has a potion. I don't say definitely scoop. That's bad. It just went to the shop and I don't think burnt them all. But with the cape here, cape and tempered. Hugs seem like a distant possibility. IBKarma is going to pick up a fairy here, and that's good on 2.5 hearts. Better when you know it doesn't matter. As Latebit's done with the pig, and GG's into chat for today's winner, Latebit. Let me find a button here. Karma will have to do this the slower way, but no big deal. So welcome on in, Latebit GG's.
Play casual boots, they said. It'll be quick, they said.
They shouldn't say that. If they say that, well, if they don't say it, it will be, but you know. Yeah, Karma's just getting done here. So here's the thing, I'll repeat it whenever he gets in here, but Karma, what did he do? In GT did, like a DM thing, came up with a key, but guess where the swords were?
Yeah, 2 of them on the side.
So you were in there a little in front of him, but if not for the swords, he might have actually got in front of you. Which is just how it works in the Force Sword. We have no idea, but I can't think of anything besides Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, this is some nasty sword placement.
Yeah, Bombos wasn't great. I say Mirror was behind that, I guess. Ish,
I gotta tell you, my heart stopped for a second when I saw powder on Ped.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I was trying to remember because you were at this potion shop. I was trying to remember if you had picked up a mushroom and had gotten rid of it, and I didn't see it, but I guess you didn't because it's in TR.
Yeah. Yeah, potion shop was my first stop after I got that mushroom. I was like, if I can skip Ped, cool. Let me do it. But it was useless. GG's Karma.
GG's to Karma here. I told Chad, I said, we got 2 ped checks today, don't we?
When I started running low on checks, I was like, maybe I should go peek at that because I can read everything that's required for it. And it was powder, and I was like, oh, thanks, casual boots.
Here comes Karma.
This is the story of this group, though. Just lots of 1 and 2 minute victories, really tight games.
Yeah, welcome in, Karma. GG's.
GG's.
Yeah, close, and it wasn't the flippers, as you asked in race time. It was the swords and GT, and where they were placed. That's just sorry.
Oh, was there another sword in there that I missed?
Under ice armors, yeah. You were a little behind to begin with.
Oh, did he do full? Did you do full left then, late bit?
I did do full left after I pulled 3 keys from a DM room. I was like, well,
Gotcha.
if the game wants me over here, I'll stay over here.
That's why I was curious, because it's like, there would be no reason to go to ice armors the route I took.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. You go hope full left, you're going to stop at that second sword, unfortunately.
That big key in hope was... see, like this, when you really think about it, that's a big old FU right there. But how about the rest of this? When you guys went into desert, this is one question I had. Were you expecting anything other than the lamp? Or did you guess maybe something other than that?
For me, it was either lamp or what led to the lamp. I mean, it could have been, what? It could have been flippers?
Yeah.
Or mirror.
Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't have been bombos, because that wouldn't help us get to the mountain.
Right. Yeah, because you had that early book, and you both got to desert kind of late. We were talking like, well, there's going to be 2 really cool things in there.
Yeah. Of course, the game puts our logical fire in desert.
Yeah.
It's okay. I had fire rod before I went.
Yeah, so did I. And then I saw the logical answer, and I was like, oh, of course.
Remind me where the heckin' mirror was. It was late.
Mirror was in...
Thieves big.
Yeah, Gamma's chest.
Yeah, nobody's doing that outside of clowning too super early. So I guess, yeah, well...
I did call before that. I don't know if that was the right call or not.
Well, it was a better call because, otherwise you're doing Smith Chain without it, like you had to do anyway. But I think you both had a mirror by then, actually, so that at least felt a little better, I'm sure.
Well, no, I only had mirror for purple chest. I did the rest without.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I guess that's true. It's like half of it, I guess, that you do without.
I had a nice brain shut off moment. I tried to take the Smith into Skull so that I could complete it with him in tow, and he's like, nah, I don't want to go here. I was like, oh.
He doesn't like multi-entrance places.
Nope.
See, I had that thought, I saw it happen, and then I was trying to remember, because I swear there was one multi-entrance it doesn't care about somewhere, but I could be wrong. I know it doesn't care about the drop-downs, because it doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But, yeah. This was fine till it wasn't, kind of, standard boots.
Yeah, the gamble for TR over Checkerboard Cave felt bad.
Late bit. I didn't know if you late bit were worried about Hera at all. That one item in there.
That was the hill that I was going to die on. That was going to be hard last location if that was my answer.
Yeah. We saw you avoided it. That was another difference there, just to point out. You had, hook access to the top, and the item was in Compass chests. IBKarma did do it. It was $20, but, it's quick. It's just called, for your purposes, I'm sure, just so far out of logic, it's just like, whatever.
Well, yeah. I debated on Moldorm while I was up there, because by the time we got down to where Mirror could be, there was only like 4 or 5 checks, and one of them was Ped.
Right. Did you actually read Ped, Karma? I don't think you did. No. Okay. Yeah. You both did Thieves Town. We thought, I was trying to remember who read Ped because, or well, not Thieves Town, but Blind specifically for a map.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, well, one of you read Ped, one of you didn't. I just.
Yeah, I started working my way towards that ped play, and then found that mirror, and I was like, well, maybe not.
You know,
Yeah,
it made me feel better though. 2-minute loss on a sword down, I'll take.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that's the story of this group. Just lots of 1 and 2 minute wins. I think somebody said this group was a knife fight, and that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it was 30. I counted 32 seconds. I picked a point to measure before you got into GT.
Wow.
And it ended up as 240 whatever here apparently. So yeah, I mean, it was a good race.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was trying to parse out what you guys were saying in the pre-race because I don't have my stuff together here as far as what this does for the both of you in the tournament.
Nothing really that I know of. He got first no matter what, and I got second no matter what.
So you get to move on. Okay, so well, I mean,
I think it might have affected seeding a little bit, like maybe get a more favorable matchup on my end. So if that's true, cool. If not, we were just having fun.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be the bottom seed of the second people out, so whoever the number 1 overall seed is probably who I'm going to get slammed against.
well, good luck to both of you in either case. I'm sure it will be needed regardless.
Oh yeah, brackets are where the big boys play.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's like you can try with the seating, but it seems like you are up against it no matter what you do, and anybody would say that. So.
Oh yeah, no easy draws, but I did what I could to try and minimize the pain.
For sure. But yeah, thanks for the good show here, and I appreciate this one. I was free. It's boots. I think I know what I'm talking about most of the time.
Yeah, appreciate you and SG picking it up.
Okay, so let's see here. Looks like we're gonna have a midnight here on SpeedGaming. That's fully crewed, so check that out here in about a half an hour if you're so inclined. And tomorrow looks like noon, 6, 8, 8, and 8:30. All of these times are Eastern Standard. Do the conversions as necessary. GMT -5 if that helps you. Okay, so that being said, I appreciate you all, and so see you next mission, but that's SM, but we can do that anyway. Have a good one.